Good day, everybody.
Hey, it's Jeff and Loretta, your real estate pros in a home among the hills. Today's problem is clogged aerators.
Oh, yeah, that's something seems like I'm constantly fighting.
Okay. Well, today we're fighting because they turned off our water and now it's come back on. But we want to prevent a problem, right?
Yeah, what we want to do is, before we turn the water back on, after the water being off, is we'll take off these little sink aerators. So they're real easy, typically.
Hold on.
So what we're going to do is this is the aerator. So it helps save water, but what happens is, at least around here, we end up with calcium buildup in the lines. So when water goes off, in this particular case, the water company, I guess, turned water off. So when we turn it back on, sometimes it'll break loose some deposits and it'll end up collecting in here, and eventually it'll clog this little screen in here. But even if that wasn't the case, about every 6 months I usually take mine apart. They just screw off here pretty easily. And watch that sometimes there's a washer in there. This one's actually pretty clean. But sometimes what you'll see is little white deposits in here and just little chunky things, and you just need to clean those out. So the water's been turned off today and turned back on. So what you want to do is, before you really turn it back on, go to a sink like this, take off the aerator, and then let the water run. Get the air out of the water, out of the lines. You see you've got air in the lines, and that'll tend to break loose some deposits. And that way it's not just going to collect in here. So just going to let it run until the air comes out.
And you have the cold water on, right? Not the hot.
Yeah. So you see what happens when we turn to the hot side. It's going to do the same thing. So we need to get all the air out of the hot and the cold side.
It's splashing me.
It seems like the hot side's not done. Still got some of the cold side.
It's got a pretty long line. It comes in on the other side of the house.
Okay, it seems like we're getting to a pretty steady flow now, finally. So what happens, you can see this is just a full stream of water. So what this does here, it's got a screen that it goes through and kind of bubbles the air so much, aerates it, and ends up with a similar stream, but part of it's just air, and you're going to be using less water. So we'll check the hot one more time. And that looks pretty good. So we're going to turn it off. Just put this back on. Like I say, sometimes you'll end up with some calcium deposits in these anyway. Like I say, I usually about every 6 months just go around the house. All you got to do is put them kind of hand tight like that, turn it on. You can see now we've got a nice even stream. But see how it's a different color? That's because part of it's bubbles.
Air.
It's air. So you're actually using less. Okay, so just in addition, the last aerator we looked at was clean, actually, and then I realized it actually had a filter leading into it, so it's good that it was clean. The filter's doing its job. So I went to another sink, and once again, we can just pull these off pretty easily. And so this is what we're looking at. So in time, these things build up calcium and other little bits of debris, and can actually, eventually you will come in one day and there'll be no water. And you're thinking, oh my, I got a big problem. But really, all it is this.
Maybe just run your finger around that, Jeff, just so, because with the camera, yeah, we're not picking it up as good, maybe.
See,
yeah, better.
So you
good.
can see right there, And then, so really all you need to do is just,
Oh,
you clean it off. Still got some air in the
we gotta
lines here.
aerate this one
And
out.
then, so this is a good example of the aeration too. So this one's spitting pretty good. But that's also
Get the air out.
that's also the reason to take these off.
Yep.
Is-
And on all faucets, not
Okay.
just necessarily the kitchen,
Yeah,
the
really,
bathrooms,
really all
the
faucets.
tub.
Because what will end
Everything.
up happening is when you have the water come back on after being turned off by, like, especially the water company, is you will get some things usually break loose and end up in these aerators. So this one's now, like I say, you can just pretty much brush it off. Just be careful. Sometimes there's a
Right.
washer
An
there
old toothbrush would
that'll
clean
come
that off.
out, and so just, you don't want to have that go down the drain. You might even want to pull that while you're cleaning it off.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So anyway, we've got a nice good stream here. Turn that back off, put it back on, and you're done.